Awesome. Okay. I'm glad. If you can't hear me, please let me know in the chat. Oh, I don't know why some people can't hear me. That's strange. I had a very rookie mistake and I forgot to hit unmute. So I'm so sorry about that. Just making sure. Okay, great. So, as I was saying, what we are doing today is STLP, or the Student Technology Leadership Program. And this is one of my favorite programs in the entire world. And so, if you've been in my sessions in the past, I always, always, always bring this up because it is the most powerful way, just making sure everybody could hear, that we can let our students create. So the bit.ly is on the screen, and I will give this entire presentation to you as well, but I'll give you just a second to type that in.
Tanya, if you're still not hearing anything, go down there in the bottom right on your computer and see if you can see the audio adjustment. It may have got shut off.
Okay.
Even if it shows you've got audio at 60 or whatever, 67, if you've got an X on this little speaker, it's turned off. I don't know. I'm just trying to help you out there, Tanya.
And I'm sorry about that.
Okay. It's not your fault, Kelly. It's not
It
your
was. I had it muted at the beginning.
No.
I
Not
love
your
being in person better. I'm not great at that.
not your fault at all.
All right, so here we go. Very quickly, if you would just let me know in the chat what your experience level is with STLP, or your comfort level. So a 1, you are brand new. And notice I put eager in there for you, that you're eager to learn, because I've never met anyone who walks away from this program and is not excited about it. Number 2, maybe you've heard of STLP and you know you have it at your school, but you don't know. You haven't really done anything with it yet. And notice I capitalized yet, because after today, I hope that everyone is excited about being involved with the Student Technology Leadership Program. And number 3 is, are you the coordinator for your school? Maybe you have some expertise to share as well. I'm just taking a second to look over at those. I see lots of 2s. That makes me happy. Oh, and I have a couple 3s. That's great. Okay, great. I'm loving these responses. Great. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is just pull some of the pieces out about how STLP can be integrated with the arts. So it doesn't matter if you teach dance or drama or music, or band or orchestra or science or social studies. STLP is for you. It is for everyone. And just know that the STLP program, which is a KDE program, it does follow the Kentucky Academic Standards for Technology. And I have posters of those here, and also a hyperlink if you're interested in learning more about those. Know that these standards are mandatory for all Kentucky teachers and students now, but don't worry, they are not something extra that you have to unpack. These are things you're already doing, I guarantee. But if you look at these buzzwords, this is what we want our students to be, right? We want them to be empowered learners and knowledge constructors, and of course, digital citizens and creative communicators and innovative designers. And that's where we're going to focus a lot today, is how you can integrate these projects that are already built for you into your classrooms. And so I do have lots of resources here for you if you're interested in going further than what we do today. And I want to point out a couple. The first one is the STLP website. And this is managed by our chief enthusiasts for the state, Jeff Cebulski and Matt Kressline. So please check that out. It is a wealth of information. I'm not going to go into everything today, but I wanted you to have that resource. The second one down is the super sheet, and I am going to take a moment to click on that, because this is STLP in a nutshell. And as I scroll down, you can tell that your students have opportunities to earn badges, projects, products, and so on. So we're going to talk about these more in depth, but I just wanted you to have the link to the super sheet, because it really is a super sheet. Everything's there. The next link down, this says Kelly Slides. And this is because this is the full version of what I'm sharing with you today. But I created this slide deck and I've shared it out with everyone in Kentucky. And it's basically just all of these projects, and you can hand that over to your students and just say, pick your passion. And it has everything that they need there to.
She's still on, you all. We may have had be having technical difficulties, but it's all good. When things happen like this, no need to panic. I see Michelle's got a little fella down there, or somebody with her. Michelle Rice. Oh, look at that. While we're having technical difficulties, let's say hi to that baby.
Say hi, guys. Say hi.
Hey, you're the star right now.
Okay. So our whole goal today is let's celebrate our students. And if you lose me again, please tell me. I just kept on talking because I could hear you.
You probably did.
Okay, so what we're going to do is look at some projects and talk about how you can incorporate these into your classes and give you everything that you need to be a part of STLP. So the projects I'm pulling out today, these are all part of the creative digital arts category. There are many ways to be involved in STLP. You can do projects, which is project-based learning. Your students could compete in live challenges like drones and robotics. But the challenges that we're looking at today are the creative digital arts. So again, these are just products that your students would create. And then if you want, you could submit these to the competition. But even more powerful, you can just use these in your classroom. I will tell you that these are all linked on the super sheet. And also everything you need to know is here as well. I wonder what happened. I'm so sorry, Wendy. I'm not screen sharing. Let me go back. I must have gotten kicked off and not realized it. Can you see me now? Awesome. Okay. So strange. I have a screen pulled up right beside me and it's showing everything clearly. So I'm not sure what's happening. So again, all of these are linked for you as well because every category links out to a rubric. And I'll just pull this one open to show you. The first category is 3D design. And so these rubrics are meant for the teachers and the students to know exactly what to do. So you can tell the criteria that the students are judged upon, or that you can use this rubric. And notice they're all created in Google Docs. So you were able to even come in and make a copy of this and arrange it and edit it to fit your own needs as well. But they're all based upon those Kentucky standards for technology. So I just wanted to show you what the rubric looked like quickly. So this category, this one's called 3D design, and students do just that. They can create a 3D design or model, and then they just submit that. And here are two different tools that your students can use to do this. Either Tinkercad or SketchUp are my favorite. And both of these are free for you to use. And I'm going to open up Tinkercad for a second. because I want to show you just how easy it is. You don't even have to know how to use it as a teacher. You can just give this to your students, have them sign in with their Google account, and there are tutorials and lessons that walk your students through step by step so they can create with this. It's so easy to do. These are a couple of the past winners, and I love this prompt. I love to ask students, what's something important to you right now that doesn't exist? And this is not from this particular student, but I did have a student once that tell me that they broke their ankle and they couldn't perform in their dance recital. And so they went into 3D print a gadget or a gizmo that would help them to dance. This one's a sensory shuttle that we have an example. I'm going to pull open some more examples for you. I love this one. This is a 3D design of a chess set. And the student actually, as you go through their example, they 3D printed the board. They did each of the pieces as well. And so, yes, and so it goes through all the different game designs, and you could actually print this out, but you don't have to. If you don't have a 3D printer in your school, check out with your local libraries. I know in Lexington, a lot of our libraries have built maker spaces and they have printers. And so a lot of our teachers will just save these files on a little flash drive and they'll go over and print these out for their students as well. It is great for students that are under 13. Teachers can come in to Tinkercad, and again, it's free. You can set up a class that you add your students to. You can give them assignments, and it's a great way to collect their work as well. So this is a safe and approved application for your students. But I wanted you to think about how you could use this in your own discipline, and please use the chat to share these ideas as they come to you. I love this one. It was the Positivity Desk accessory, and as you turn it, it has different quotes on the side. This one is called the Super Scooper, and let me just play just a little bit of it for you. I'll fast forward into it a little. Oh, this was the science class one. I work with a theater, a local community theater, and I had my students, when they weren't actively blocking or learning choreography, I don't like them just to sit there. I want them to be engaged. And so we're getting ready to do Little Shop of Horrors this weekend. And I've actually had them work on a 3D design set. So they could go in and they could even collaborate and build different pieces of the set. And that was amazing because they thought of things that as directors we did not think about. So we were able to use that set design and bring a lot of that to fruition. So a great way. So again, you don't have to think so literal. It doesn't have to be something that you could print. It could be something that you just want to build. We had a science teacher who could not get their students to actually visualize what the cell, an animal cell looked like. And I remember in biology drawing that with paper and pencil, and that's great. But you could also have your students go into an application like SketchUp, which was another example that I linked, and they could go in and build that cell. And by building it three-dimensionally, they are able to understand it even better. So many cool ideas. So these were just a couple of ideas. I've had an art teacher who was working with sculpting with clay. And so she had her students model it out of clay, but she also had them build it in Tinkercad. So what a great way to teach your students the difference between 2D and 3D. They could we have a school who does 3D printed jewelry and they build charms. And so the students go in and design charms for different attributes like kindness or being helpful or saying a nice word or stepping in against a bully. And so they've made all these charms. And when they catch students being good, they actually pass these charms out. And students have started wearing bracelets and necklaces where they are actually displaying their charms. But it could be for functional objects as well. So we teach all the different purposes of art. So we could teach if it's functional or if it's artistic. And so, let your students design both. I already mentioned props and sets. For this play, we didn't have We're doing Beauty and the Beast as well. And so with the gun that Gaston has, we found this old rifle, but we wanted that big bowl on the end. And we couldn't find something that looked just right. So we were able to 3D print that as well. So many amazing ideas. And if you have ideas, please, please, please pop those in the chat for your area as well. A music teacher lets her students print out different music notes, so they could print out the quarter notes and the half notes and the whole notes and the rest. And then she has a staff drawn out on paper, but then the kids could go up and make different melodies with their 3D printed pieces that they could turn around and play, or clap and practice. Another teacher was doing architecture, and so she let the students use SketchUp to design what that New York City landscape would look like. And so just so much fun, so many ideas. Those were just a few that popped off the top of my head. Oh yeah, and kids can make instruments, absolutely. There are actually sites, and you can go into Tinkercad as well and not just build, but you can search for creations that other students have made, and you can even import those and modify them. I have seen classes who have printed out entire ukuleles, and so of course the strumming, and they haven't gotten the keys or the chords down exactly right yet, the tension of the strings. Sorry, I'm not a musician, so I don't know exactly how that works, but I know that they're trying. So yeah, math classes, I love these ideas, so please keep those coming. So another idea, this is a newer category, and this one is the book cover. And again, I'm just trying to pull out the ones that I think have arts connections. But this one is a new one where students could imagine a new book, a new cover for their favorite book. So they're not coming up with a book, they're taking the idea of a book, and then they are talking about the elements and that they would incorporate for that book. So again, these are just some ideas. And you'll notice tools I've listed here for this. These are ones I talk about all the time. So if you were with me the past year and a half, I think, you've heard me talk about Adobe Express and Canva. And what I love about this is that you don't have to teach the tool, right? Because you're already hopefully using these tools for other things in your classroom. So this is a great way to use that technology just to enhance the learning, and you don't have to spend time teaching the tools. Going back and answering a question, SketchUp, yes. So make sure that you search for SketchUp for education, and it's free for education. And if I didn't link the appropriate one, I will go back and fix that for you as well, Ms. Carla. Another category, and this is probably one of our favorites. I think that I see more pieces entered in this than anything else, and this is the digital illustration category. In other words, original art. What can your students create? And you're seeing actual artwork winners on the screen right now. And you can use, our students are so talented. I was working with a group of second grade boys at our STEM school that last week, just gave them an iPad and a pen, and just watching them draw, it was amazing. And so just wanted to share these with you today as well. Here are some other tools, and these are all hyperlinked out. These are ones that, they remind me of Photoshop and Illustrator, which you pay a lot of money for, but these are free. And Chrome Canvas is probably the most the simple tool to use. And when you open it up, the students can pick from like a pen, a crayon, a paintbrush. But these tools also allow them to start experimenting with layers. And I think that's important to teach students when they're creating, is how to work in those layers, so that if they make a mistake, they can just back up a layer and they're not messing with the integrity of their work. Also, if you go back to the top, the resources I shared, the exemplars, that's where all of these are coming from. And I'm sorry I didn't credit each slide, but they're all credited on that exemplar sheet. Along with each of the pieces of artwork or product, all of these, you'll also see a process piece. And so students are required to write the process out. And these make me cry a lot. They get really in depth, because it's not only I used this tool, but I created this because. And I think just by looking at the screen, you can see how emotional some of these pieces are. I love them. I think they're beautiful. So the next one, this is the digital element design. So a second ago, we looked at just digital art where students are drawing and creating. But now this one mixes some elements together. So you can see the top one, which is titled Strength Through Chaos. The student was able to go in and add the effect of the wind to add motion to the grass and to her hair. This second one is their school news intro. Let's see if it will play from here. Yeah, so just really short. So these are just really short pieces, but they're adding motion and interactivity. It reminds me of the app called, what is it called? Sorry, I lost it. Like a Giphy type app where it's just making motion. And some tools that your students might want to try, again, are Adobe Express, Canva, Apple Keynote, or Illustrator. So again, these are all tools that our students have access to, and they should already be using these for so many things. So we don't have to teach them something brand new. So many tools. The next one, these are more examples of digital art. Sorry, got that one out of order. But I loved how intricate these were. And a lot of students start off with, if you have iPads in your building, there's an app called Procreate. I will tell you, this one is not free. This one is, it just recently went up to like $11.99, but it is an amazing app because students can use the Apple Pen to draw and to create. However, I have also seen students do this in the Clicky app or Sumo Paint that I've linked the free tools as well. But look how detailed they are. And so then if they can start here and then pull that into an app or application like Canva or Adobe Express, and then they can go in and add those added moments. So in your classroom, think about what are you having them draw right now, or what are you having them create? Do they need to show you the water cycle? So it wouldn't just be that static image, but they could go in and import tools to help add motion or animation to that as well. Yay! I have some Procreate users in the room. I love that. So the next one is, this is actually two different categories, one music composition and music manipulation. So students could create digital music using software, or they can use loops and samples of other music that exists, and then they can manipulate that. And I'll just play a little piece of one here for you. Oops. And it's hard to get it to open up on this computer. I'm sorry. But these, I like using these categories if I'm doing digital storytelling or if I'm doing literature, and I can have students create music to go along with the mood of the story. So that spooky, eerie, suspenseful music is going to be very different behind their storytelling than if it's something that's happy and excited and engaging. And so I hope that you'll take a second to listen to some of these examples. Some of the different tools at the bottom, and I will tell you, I have struggled finding a great free tool for music composition. And I'm seeing questions about Adobe Fresco. Yes, that's a good one, but I think that one's not free, right? For that, but it is a great tool. Soundtrap is a great tool for creating music, but again, these tools do require licenses. Audacity is free if you still are lucky to have desktops and laptops and Windows-based machines in your building. So that's a really good one. For my Mac users, GarageBand is a free app or a free tool, and it's a great one to use as well. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I knew we had several music teachers in the room. The next one is digital photography. And this is another one that I see lots of entries for. And I think it's because students have these devices in their hand, right? They don't need those very expensive cameras anymore. I love it when they use the DSLRs, and I love it when they learn to use them appropriately. But I also love that any student can now participate in digital photography. Last year, we did a session on photo stories and digital storytelling. And I love using this because students can tell a story with their images. They learn that these images are more powerful than words. And so I love this category. Oh, and I'm loving that you guys are putting lots of stuff in the chat. So look at the story that this first one's telling. This was during a basketball game, and the student was just happened to be sitting there and took this amazing picture. But look at the emotion that it evokes. The same with all of these. This picture of our couple at the beach, and the one in the bottom right-hand corner with the eye. So photography with them as well. You could show them an image and have them create art or create a dance or create a monologue or do anything from that image as well. But then you can also turn around and have them bring in images to convey a feeling or an emotion. A lot of times I'll give my students an example. So tomorrow I would love for you to bring in 5 images that reflect the word brave. And in the chat, tell me, what are some things you think they might take a picture of with brave? And today's a good day to talk about being brave, right? Any brave ideas? Scary things, yeah. A hero, a parent. Yes, I love that. A flag, first day of school, jumping into a pool. These are great. See, lots of different ideas. A lion, a veteran, yes. Not sure if you saw my husband walk in a second ago behind me in his uniform. He took my daughter out to lunch. That's their Veteran Day tradition. So it's really sweet. No, these are all great. A cancer patient. Yes, beautiful. And so students can tell different stories and tell about what's meaningful to them as well through this assignment. The eye, I also love to use this one as an example of you looking through different perspectives. So many great ideas. Again, all of these are linked. This rubric is there, but feel free to take this and expand upon it in your classroom as well. The next category is that they can do manipulated image. So they can take that photograph or several photographs and then they can change them. We know that this example of a giraffe wouldn't be wearing sunglasses, right, shaped like hearts, but and standing in front of a balloon. But students were able to take these different images and merge them together. I love the one on the Starry Night one. It's beautiful. Or even our animal overlooking the lake. So just a manipulated image. And I think this one leads its way towards AI. We're doing so much right now with students in AI where we're having them go into different generators and typing a prompt and then having that generate the images. So it would be a great idea to have your students do this on their own first. They could use a tool like Photopea or Chrome Canvas or Sumo Paint. And I have all those linked there for you to try. But they could try that on their own. And then they might go to Adobe Firefly, which is an AI generator, and let them generate it as well and try to compare and contrast the two. And then taking our photos and our manipulated photos a step further is with the photo essay. And this was one of my favorite sessions that we did last year and over the summer. And those resources are still linked if you want to learn more about photo essays. But for example, this one was how leg braces are made for kids. And so by using images as the subject in very little words, students are able to tell us a story. So I'm just kind of flipping through this one quickly. And usually it's between 5 and 10 photos to tell an impactful story. Here's another example, how the Bowling Green tornado affected their street. And then this one, let's see if it'll open up. Yeah, and so this one I was able to use just a Google site and put the images on it. So again, you don't need fancy tools to do projects like this. You can use Google Sites, you could use Google Slides, you could use Canva, so many different tools that you could use. In the art classroom, you could have students show a process, or you could have students do a photo essay, their journey of a musical from beginning to end. So many different possibilities with this, and I would love to see your thoughts too. So make sure to put those in the chat for these. A good question about, can you submit AI imagery for STLP projects? Yes and no. So for the subjects I'm showing you today, or categories I'm showing you today, no. These all say original work. So like, for example, this one says original photographs. However, there is an AI challenge that's live at the state competition, and my team and I actually started that last year because we were asked to do that because we were doing so much with AI and allowing our students to experiment safely, and so. I encourage you to check that out, and I'll link that in the slide deck so that you have it as well. But hopefully one day, if there's enough interest, that might be added as a CDA where they could work on it ahead of time and submit it. But at state, the students come, we give them a live prompt, and they get to practice with that prompt. And as a matter of fact, jumping back over to that super sheet, if you jump down to the live challenges, the AI Live Demand Challenge is still here. We won't give the rule prompt until the day of, but I'll just show you quickly. These were all of the winners from, or all of the prompts from last year. And so I think that we did technology in the future, and you can tell just by very quickly flipping through how different all of the students took this. So their perspective, or the past meets the future. That was it with technology. So this was some AI examples. Yay, I'm glad they do it. Yes, yes. So again, that was examples of photo essay, and I hope you'll try that. That one is the most powerful to me just because I love letting students tell stories through images. The next one, carrying on with that same thing, is digital storytelling. And students can use digital tools in any combination. So it can be music, text, images, and I'll just flip through some of these examples to show you how they did it so differently. This top one, the Erie Church, they use Canva. So they were able to use images that were in Canva. And remember I was telling you about that process piece. So where students write down how they created something, they also are required to cite their sources if they use images that are already there. So this is just a quick example of one way a student did it. This next one, please open for me. When you open, here we go. So she was able to come in and add audio. If I were to play through the entire thing, you would hear that she has lots of sound in here as well. So she has like the lawnmower or the bees buzzing or the birds chirping. And so I love that. And so Susan brought up a great question of a photo story. And I missed that when all of our Microsoft machines started going away and Chromebooks came in, they didn't have anything for that. However, guys, Canva is magical for videos. And I'll just quickly show you since I'm in Canva. Again, Canva is free for every student and every teacher, and it always will be. But I created this presentation. So all my students have to do now is come to Uploads and click Record Yourself. And by doing that, it brings them into the little studio, and it might not play nicely with me since I'm in Zoom. But then they can come in and just now record, and it always brings that little picture in, but you can cover that up and take it away, and they can also screen share. So it is so easy in Canva to make a video. And once you upload audio or motion to a slides presentation, it automatically gives you the option to download it as a video. And so it even has Ken Burns effects in there. It has all the different animations and slides, but this is very similar to that Ken Burns, that photo story that was installed, but it's online and it's free. I hope that answers that question. Okay, so our next one, thanks for hanging in with me, we're getting there, is animation. And I keep saying this. I keep saying this is my favorite, but this is probably my other favorite is the animation. Let's jump ahead. And so again, this is just some quick different examples. This top one, students either use Google Slides or, Google Slides, and see how they just brought that element in and then they copied the slide and just moved it a little bit and copied it and moved it a little bit. I saw such a fun animation in an art classroom the other day. A student was they were having to research and to present about a favorite artist, and they were doing theirs on Degas. And they had Degas, and they had him in front of a museum, and then they would move him along. They would even do little speech bubbles, and on each frame he was talking about something different. And then they broke it down about how he loved dancers and how he loved doing sculptures and paintings of dancers. And they then took screen captures of themselves going through different poses. And again, they would take a picture, move it to the next slide, take a picture. And so they were moving slowly to create this amazing presentation. So animation can come in so many shapes and forms. It can be something like this using a digital tool, or maybe it was using that Procreate app where the students were drawing and it captured their movements. So many different ways you can take it. The next one, and I'll play just a little bit. This one was called the Burnout. And you can tell this one's a little more intricate, right? When they were able to add sound effect. So this one's more like the Pixar animation that we're used to seeing. And the students just blow me away with this one. This one's an elementary example. And so they just use paper cutouts and they would move it a little bit each time and add as many different frames. So I will tell you that my favorite app for this, so many different things you could use, but this is my favorite, and it's called Cloud Stop Motion. Has anybody tried this one? I'm just going to jump out and show you just a little bit about it. Again, it's probably going to act terrible with me since I'm on Zoom, but it's this easy. It's not going to let me do it right now, but I would just have my objects. I can move my Chromebook down, and I would just click this little camera, click, move it, click, move it, click, move it, click, move it, click, and then it automatically creates my animation for me. This is free. Students get so much storage for free, and then they would have to clear that and delete it out. So they only get so much for free, but it does work with their Google Drive. This is one that our district has actually started to purchase because we have teachers using this across every single curriculum and grade level. But we used it for free for about 3 years. So it also does the little onion skinning, so it will show you where your character is. So if you accidentally bump the table and it moves your object, it will show you where it was. So Cloud Stop Motion is a very powerful free tool. Again, there are other apps you can use for this. Stop Motion Animator, that's a Chrome extension for free that you can use as well. Google Slides is easy. Canva is easy. So feel free to try those out. I had a science class doing this not too long ago where they were doing the erosion. And so they collaborated with the art teacher. The science teacher collaborated with the art teacher, and the art teacher was teaching subtractive art or subtractive sculpting. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And so the students built like a cliff out of clay, and then they started with their Chromebook, just used their Chromebook, and took pictures of them scooping the clay away to show erosion. And then But think then a music teacher could easily collaborate with that as well. They could even compose music to go along with this erosion video. And what would that sound like? What would the mood be like? So they could go in and explore loops and sounds and sound effects. And you can make this a huge project if we start to mix all of these together. Just a couple other examples. And I won't make you watch the whole thing right now, even though I know you want to, because these are just so stinking adorable, right? But the students were able to draw the different characters and the setting. And I know as I'm saying your content words, you can think about how to use this, right? Characters, setting, excuse me, props. You could talk about contrast. You could talk about so many different things. And so it doesn't require anything fancy. They can use a Chromebook and just what they have. If librarians are discarding books, that's another, or magazines, that's another great thing to use for these projects because they can cut out images of and use them in their projects as well. This one, a little more elaborate, but I just wanted to show you the difference between the two. And I won't play all of that today. And so I bet you're thinking, oh my gosh, but I don't have time for all of this. I did stop motion animation with a group of second graders yesterday for 45 minutes and they were done. And they were able to produce just a quick 30-second video. Now, they did have to take hundreds of photographs, but it's great to work in pairs, right? So I would have one student who was moving and one student be the photographer where they go move, snap, move, snap, move, snap. And so it can be done. It doesn't have to be time consuming, but I think your students can really show you what they know in more in a way like this. So feel free to come back and check these examples out. They're just phenomenal. Minecraft, and I'm wondering if anybody does Minecraft in your classrooms already. Oh, Mary Beth, that's a great question. She asked, what did I use as a camera? For most of these, I just used the Chromebook camera, believe it or not. And so I know you're seeing me pointing this at my lap right now. A lot of times I will just put my setting in the floor and have this up on a table or a chair, and the students can manipulate and just use the camera on their Chromebook. I know it's not perfect, but it does work. We also use something called a Hue, H-U-E, Hue cameras, and they are phenomenal. I wish I was at my desk. I could show you. But they're just these little, really inexpensive. I think they're like $49 to $69, depending on if they're on sale. Just this little bitty camera that plugs into the side of a Chromebook. It's just a little USB port. And teachers, these are great for document cameras as well, but you can use them for stop motion. So yes, most of the time we just use our Chromebook cameras. You can also have students like pretend I'm one of those science boards. So you could set the science board in front of them, in front of the camera, and they could build their set on that science board, and then they can just manipulate in front of it. It reminds me of the old school dioramas, right? When we used to build scenes in a shoebox. You can do the exact same thing and just use the Chromebook camera. And believe it or not, 50% of what you have seen today is used with just the Chromebook camera. We're going to give that one confetti, right? Because that was super fun. Okay. Oh, we were talking about Minecraft. Yes. So Minecraft, again, I hope that's available in your schools. Don't be afraid of it. There's so many amazing learning opportunities. So each year, the state picks a different theme for Minecraft. You are no way obligated to just stick to this theme. You can use this for anything. The prompt this year is called Minecraft Explorers Kentucky's Natural Wonders. So this is a great collaboration that you could do with your science teachers as well, where they build a sustainable park. And Kentucky is full of beautiful parks. So they could build their park and then talk about so many features. It's just amazing. Last year's prompt was these were literature. And I'm just going to forward into it a little bit so you can see. So I won't show the whole thing right now, but students were had to read a book and then build a Minecraft world around their favorite book. It's Harry Potter, I think. And so, if you would like to watch these examples full screen when it's easier to see, students are allowed to work collaboratively. So, this one student would create a world and then invite other students to join with them, and they would build together. And so, I love the Minecraft. Minecraft is phenomenal. Minecraft EDU, I should say. So, e-publishing, and I really wanted to share this one with you today for a purpose because e-publishing is that students publish digital materials. And so just a couple of examples, and then I'll tell you why I really wanted to. Sorry, it's hard to get these to open in presentation mode. Let me talk about them. So feel free to open these as I'm talking about them. The first one was an English-Spanish video dictionary. And so imagine how your students could do that. If you have a high population of different languages spoken in your school, your students could build a Google site, for example, and then they could have just use their Chromebook to make simple recordings of translating that word into different languages. I've seen this one a lot and I love it. This example is their school newspaper. In this bottom one, here, I'm going to jump out of presentation mode so I can open this. This is actually a school in Fayette County that I got permission to share with you, SCAPA, which is the School for the Creative and Performing Arts. And they built this site to inspire arts collaboration. And so they made a school-wide video of Footloose. They took the appropriate steps. They got permission to use the song and to re-record the song. And so this is an amazing video of every student and every teacher and every worker in the building that they created just to celebrate their school. And they've also started classroom examples of arts collaboration. And so I thought as arts teachers, this is a great example because I know that when I was the library media specialist in my school, I had to promote my work constantly. I don't know why, but people thought all I did was sit in there and read books all day long, right? They think that of you. And so it's fun to promote and to celebrate your work. And you do so much. So whether you're doing music, and I know with music, you have to be very careful of copyright, but if they do a performance, but you could follow that 10% rule or maybe it could be part of a dress rehearsal or part of them just doing a behind the scenes. But I was just hoping as arts teachers, you might want a way to collect, to curate all of those pieces and put them together. So they just used a Google site for this, and they were able to collect all of these different activities and pieces and put it into one place and really just truly show off their work. So this is an example of e-publishing. E-publishing can be anything. It could be your student uses a Google site or a Canva site to curate their work and show off all of their artwork, or show off how the chords they learned with the ukulele that day, or with their djembes. Am I saying that correctly? Or it just could be anything, just a way for them to collect and publish. Because when we let our students become an authentic publisher, their work changes if they have that audience. So I love e-publishing. Again, they could use so many different tools for this. I keep talking about Google Sites or Google Slides just because it is so easy. Here's a trick you might not know about in Canva. I know we have so many Canva users, but you can come in now and resize any publication and you can make it a website. So if I were to click that, I'm not going to do it right now because, but if I were to click website, it would take my Google slide or it would take my Canva slide presentation and turn that into a website. And so easy way to build websites and to share your work. So encourage your students to be e-publishers as well. Book Creator is another website, and we've done some sessions on this in the past. But if you are interested in learning more, I would love to share it with you. But Book Creator is a phenomenal way to let your students publish work. I feel like it's Canva on steroids. It lets them design a book and they can insert media. They can record themselves. They can record their audio. They can record video. They can insert pictures and images. So just wanted to share that tool with you as well. Book Creator is free for up to 40 books per teacher. But once you use those 40 books and you're finished with them, you can delete them out and you can just keep going with it. So the next one is, and I'm probably overwhelming you, so I'm going to pause for a second. I am hoping, I do not expect you to do all of these projects, and I don't expect you to remember all of this. And I should have prefaced with that before we started today. What I wanted to show you is that there's so many activities out there that exist with rubrics already created that are linked to the standards that I think you could take with any content in any grade level and hand it over to your students and say, create and let me celebrate you. And that's, I get so passionate about this. So that's why I'm talking a million miles a minute here. A million, yes. I'm just so excited about it. I can't contain myself. So do not feel like you have to do all of these. I hope you have found one today that you're like, oh, I want to try that with my kids. So if I'm overwhelming you, stop and just explore, but just know that these are here. I think I have 2 more to share. Bluegrass Bites is part of the Kentucky Travel Series, and they change it every year. So the example that I have linked for you here is not this year's theme. This year's theme is Bluegrass Bites. And so what it's encouraging students to do is to go out and find that favorite dining spot in their local in their town, their city, their county, and to just do a quick little video about that restaurant and that establishment. I'm hoping that at the end of this category this year that they compile all of these and make a great big map of with all of them in this advertising, think of it that way, and then we can just go try all these places to eat. But I wanted to share this one with you because I think there's so much involved with creating a video. There are many video opportunities within STLP, and I'm not going to go through them all, but they're all linked from here down. So I hope you'll explore them out. They can do this one about making videoing a restaurant. They can do a full-blown documentary. So maybe it's interviewing an artist or a musician, or a choir teacher, or following a band on their journey. Or they can do a PSA video, which is like 15, 30, or 60 seconds long. So I wanted to share that with you because this is what I'm getting asked. In my job as a digital learning coach, I'm being asked more, how do I create videos with my students? So I wanted to share these with you here. And if you're interested in learning more about creating videos easily, I would love to share that with you because it's powerful. Your students are makers. They are creators. They are natural narrators. And so I hope that you can find some way to let them show that off to you. And that brings us to our last slide. So I wanted to thank you for letting me share with you today. I know that was so much information. So I just wanted you, again, remember, I'm not here to overwhelm you. I was just hoping that I could inspire you with one project today. And if you want to know more about STLP, those resources are linked in the slide deck. So please make sure you have that link. I know it gets linked after our recording as well. But everything is linked in here for you. If you're on Twitter, let's connect. I'm EdTech Kelly, and I would just love to share. I would love to see the examples that you make. And I'm going to be quiet and see if you have any questions. I would love in the chat too, before you go, if you'll pop something you want to try out of this, I would love to hear that as well. I'm seeing lots of private pop in too. Yeah.
I'm practicing my wait time. So there were so
I'll be
many
quiet.
great, wonderful things. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the chat. Woohoo! So while you all are popping in the things that you want to try, I'm going to go ahead and post your evaluation. I told you that you would love Kelly, and she never fails to disappoint. So woohoo! Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Oh, these are great. Oh, I can't wait. You'll have to share all these things that you create because they're creators. They love it. And your coordinators will appreciate it too. So reach out to your coordinator. They are not the only person in your building. STLP is your whole school. We want it's not just an after school club. So they would appreciate your help in creating too. And I'm always here, always. If you have questions, please reach out.
Absolutely. And Kelly does mean that. Truly, she means that. If you send her an email, she is very quick on her response time. But I think the thing that we can all love and walk away with is knowing that there's already rubrics made. I mean, when she said that, I was like, oh my goodness, this is great. And even if you don't use the rubrics, just having those to like look at, hey, I'm thinking about using this idea in my classroom, and looking at what's pre-made and thinking, hey, I can tweak that, modify that. That's always just a great, I know in my classroom, I was kind of thinking about, well, where do I even begin? Like, what is a good, for, or what does that need to look like? And then you can, modify from there. So fantastic. I love it. This has been a wonderful session. And I know someone dropped in the chat the examples. I can't remember who that was, but I agree. Her examples are always spot on. I love, love, love them. So that's always a plus. So thank you all so very much. This is a wonderful session, and I hope that you all have lots of things that you're going to glean from this and use immediately in your classrooms. I'm going to stick on for a little while and see if you all have any questions for me that aren't necessarily about this session, but anything extra, since there are several of you on. If you need anything, I am here. There's going to be, I know some of you hopped on a little later. I was just talking about some new things that we're getting ready to add to the calendar. All kinds of new things. So we are super excited about those things. I actually added a bunch of things to our little calendar today. And then Jamie and Gabby will add those as soon as we get Zoom links ready to rock and roll. So you'll see those come into the calendar ASAP. So we're super excited. If you did not fill out the needs assessment form, that's kind of the thing that I was talking about as well. That does help us to know with when we do these peer-to-peer sessions, would you rather do those virtual? Would you rather do those in person? So that kind of helps us to know. And then also, like Kelly and I were talking, what's your next want or need as far as technology sessions, those types of things as well. So we have some fantastic music sessions already in the works. More drama. If you missed our drama session last week, it was amazing. I know Michelle's shaking her head. It was great. So if you didn't watch or weren't able to be live with us, go back and watch the recording. We're going to have another one this Wednesday, next Wednesday, and we'll continue working with them with the Lilith Theater Company. And then we do have some more drama sessions coming down the turnpike, as well as art sessions with our art history professor. She's amazing. And then we will link the slide deck from Kelly. We'll have that ASAP too, as soon as we get that. And she may have put that in the very beginning. Kelly, did you send us the link to your slide? Oh, yep. Here's a bit.ly of it, and I will get that for you. So if you have any other questions, let me put that back in the chat. I had it and then I lost it. Okay, there it is.
I added a full link too.
Oh, perfect. And we'll add that also on your on the Renaissance Gallery for you. And if you all need anything else from us, just let me know, and gonna be lots of fun. I know we've got several of our experts gonna lead some learn shops. I talked to London, the city of London. We're gonna do some things there. We're gonna do some things in other locations. We do have our Nashville immersion trip, so a mini immersion trip that we're working on dates for. So we're going to go to Nashville. We've got all kinds of fun stuff happening.